Most people don't realize that their thoughts control everything. Your thoughts aren't just random things. They're where everything you do begins. How you think when you wake up sets the tone for your whole morning. How you think when you're stressed determines if you quit or keep trying. How you think about yourself decides how much you'll grow. People often blame situations, other people, or even luck, but they hardly ever look at their own thoughts. If you keep thinking you're not good enough, you'll hold yourself back. But if you think you can handle things, you'll take action. That's how thoughts guide you. This video will show you the truth that's been guiding your life all along. Change your thoughts today, and you'll change your future. Chapter 1. See how your thoughts affect your mood. When you are by yourself, you start to see that the ideas you have are not just small things that don't matter. They are strong, and they change how you feel all day long. If you wake up and the first thing you think about is being annoyed, then you will feel annoyed all day. If you start by being worried, then worry will control what you do. But if you start by choosing to think about being calm or having a goal, that one choice changes how you feel and how you act. The secret thing to know is that the ideas you let stay in your head have the biggest effect on your feelings. Think about it. Just one bad thought can take all the energy out of your whole morning. One little worry can make you unable to relax, easily angered and uncomfortable. But one clear and strong thought can make you feel stable and prepared to do what you need to do. This is not about acting like life is simple. This is about knowing how your inside feelings make you act. If you feel sad, it's often because you've been thinking sad thoughts. If you feel happy, it's because you let happy thoughts in. This is real and it's always happening, even if you don't see it. How people think shows that your mood isn't just random. Your feelings come from your thoughts. When people say they feel like they can't do anything, it's because they keep thinking they can't. When people feel sure of themselves, it's because they keep thinking they are. Your mood just shows what you're thinking about. And the truth is, you can choose what thoughts to keep and what thoughts to get rid of. Most people don't stop to think about it. They let any thought come in, and then they don't know why they feel bad all day. But really, they can control how they feel. It all starts with their thoughts. The exciting news here is that you can begin to direct your thinking in a way that creates a life you love. When you realize that your thoughts are the cause of your moods, you can begin to take control of your thinking. You can begin to redirect thoughts that don't serve you. You can decide to dwell on thoughts that lift you. The moment you realize this, you step into your power. You are no longer at the mercy of random emotions. You become the director of your inner world, and this will change everything in your outer world. This is not just positive thinking. It's understanding the cause and effect relationship between your thoughts and your emotions. It's about taking responsibility for your inner world so you can create the outer world you desire. So, how do you actually start doing this? The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to your thoughts. Notice what you're thinking about throughout the day. Are your thoughts generally positive or negative? Are they empowering or disempowering? Just observe without judgment. You're simply gathering data. The next step is to challenge your negative thoughts. When you notice a thought that makes you feel bad, ask yourself if it's really true. Is there another way to look at the situation? Often, negative thoughts are based on assumptions or fears, not on facts. Reframe the thought. Turn it into something more positive or neutral. For example, if you're thinking, I'm going to fail this project, reframe it to, I'm going to do my best on this project, and that's all I can do. The third step is to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. This doesn't mean you have to become Pollyanna and ignore all the bad things in the world. It simply means that you consciously choose to focus on the good things, the things you're grateful for, the things that make you happy. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. This will train your brain to look for the positive. The fourth step is to practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat a good friend. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Learn from it and move on. Everyone makes mistakes. The key is to not let them define you. The fifth step is to surround yourself with positivity. Spend time with people who lift you up, who make you feel good about yourself. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch movies that inspire you. Avoid negative influences, such as the news or social media, if they make you feel bad. The sixth step is to take care of your physical health. Exercise, eat healthy foods, get enough sleep. When you take care of your body, you'll feel better emotionally. The seventh step is to practice mindfulness. Pay attention to the present moment. Don't dwell on the past or worry about the future. Just focus on what you're doing right now. This will help you to quiet your mind and reduce stress. The eighth step is to set goals and take action. When you have something to work toward, you'll feel more motivated and positive. Break your goals down into smaller, more manageable steps. Celebrate your successes along the way. The ninth step is to be patient. It takes time to change your thinking patterns. Don't get discouraged if you slip up occasionally. Just keep practicing, and eventually you'll see results. The 10th step is to seek professional help if you need it. If you're struggling with depression, anxiety, or other mental health issues, don't be afraid to reach out to a therapist or counselor. They can help you to develop coping skills and strategies for managing your emotions. Remember, you are the master of your own mind. You have the power to choose your thoughts and create the life you want. It takes effort and practice, but it's worth it. When you learn to control your thinking, you'll be happier, healthier, and more successful. You'll be able to handle stress more effectively, build stronger relationships, and achieve your goals. So start today. Pay attention to your thoughts, challenge the negative ones, and replace them with positive ones. Be kind to yourself, surround yourself with positivity, and take care of your physical health. Practice mindfulness, set goals, and take action. Be patient and persistent, and don't be afraid to seek help if you need it. You've got this. Now let's dive into some real-life examples of how this works. Imagine Sarah, who constantly worries about her job security. She spends her days thinking about all the things that could go wrong, convincing herself that she's about to be fired. As a result, she feels anxious, stressed, and unmotivated. Her performance at work suffers, which only reinforces her fear that she's not good enough. One day, Sarah learns about the power of thought management. She starts paying attention to her negative thoughts and challenges them. She asks herself, is there any real evidence that I'm going to be fired, or am I just letting my fears run wild? She realizes that her fears are based on assumptions, not on facts. Sarah begins to reframe her thoughts. Instead of thinking, I'm going to be fired, she starts thinking, I'm a valuable employee and I'm good at what I do. I'm going to focus on doing my best work, and that's all I can control. She also starts practicing gratitude, focusing on the things she's grateful for in her job, such as her supportive colleagues and her interesting projects. As Sarah's thoughts change, so do her feelings. She feels less anxious and more confident. Her performance at work improves, and she starts receiving positive feedback from her boss. She realizes that her thoughts were creating her reality. By changing her thoughts, she changed her life. Now, let's consider John, who struggles with low self-esteem. He constantly compares himself to others, focusing on his flaws and shortcomings. He tells himself that he's not good enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough. As a result, he feels insecure, unhappy, and unfulfilled. He avoids social situations because he's afraid of being judged. He doesn't pursue his dreams because he doesn't believe he's capable of achieving them. One day, John decides to take control of his thinking. He starts challenging his negative self-talk. He asks himself, are my thoughts really true, or am I just being too hard on myself? He realizes that he's been focusing on his weaknesses and ignoring his strengths. John begins to practice self-compassion. He treats himself with the same kindness and understanding that he would offer to a friend. He acknowledges his flaws, but he also recognizes his strengths. He starts focusing on his accomplishments, no matter how small. He reminds himself that everyone makes mistakes, and that it's okay to not be perfect. He also starts surrounding himself with positive influences. He spends time with people who support and encourage him. He reads books and listens to podcasts that inspire him. As John's thoughts change, so does his self-esteem. He feels more confident, happy, and fulfilled. He starts pursuing his dreams, and he achieves things he never thought possible. He realizes that his thoughts were holding him back. By changing his thoughts, he unlocked his potential. These are just two examples of how thought management can transform your life. The principles are the same for everyone. When you learn to control your thinking, you can overcome any challenge and achieve any goal. You can create a life that is filled with joy, purpose, and fulfillment. But it's not enough to just understand these principles intellectually. You have to put them into practice. You have to make a conscious effort to change your thinking patterns. It takes time and effort, but it's worth it. The rewards are immeasurable. So start today. Take control of your thoughts and create the life you deserve. To further illustrate the power of thought management, let's delve into the concept of cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions are simply errors in thinking that can lead to negative emotions and behaviors. They are like mental traps that keep you stuck in negative thought patterns. Recognizing and challenging these distortions is a key step in taking control of your thoughts. One common cognitive distortion is all-or-nothing thinking, also known as black and white thinking. This is when you see things in extremes with no middle ground. For example, you might think, if I don't get a perfect score on this test, I'm a complete failure. Another common cognitive distortion is overgeneralization. This is when you draw a broad conclusion based on a single event. For example, if now, picture how things would change if you taught yourself to see each thought as it comes. If a thought says, I can't do this, you see it. You know what it is. You don't just take it as true and let it change how you feel. You stop and ask, does this thought help me? If it doesn't, you can change it to something better. Instead of, I can't do this, you pick, I will do what I can, bit by bit. That change makes you feel different. You breathe easier, your shoulders loosen up, and you go from feeling scared to feeling in charge. Every time you have a thought, your body feels it. Your chest gets tight when you think you might fail. Your stomach gets upset when you think people are judging you. You feel more energy when you think you are getting better. That is why it's important to see your thoughts. Because it's not just about what you think, it's about how those thoughts change your body and how you feel. When you know this, you know how important thinking is. Don't just say, it's just a thought. It's more than that. It's where your feelings and actions begin. Let's look at it simply. Think about a day you woke up feeling good for no real reason. You were singing a song. You were nice to people. You dealt with problems easily. What was going on? Your thoughts were happy, hopeful, maybe even thankful. Now, think about a day when everything felt hard. You stayed away from people, got angry fast, and had no patience. What was going on? Your thoughts were sad, worried, or angry. In both cases, how you felt was because of your thoughts. That's what most people don't see. If you want to be strong, you need to watch what you let into your mind. When a bad thought comes, don't think it will stay forever. It's just visiting. You can let it stay, or you can let it go. If you keep it, you will feel bad. If you change it, you will feel stronger. This is why some people deal with stress better than others. It's not chance. It's not because they were born lucky. It is because they have taught themselves to see their thoughts before those thoughts become feelings that control their day. The method is simple, but not easy. See the thought, ask about it, and choose what to do with it. If the thought makes you feel good, keep it. If the thought makes you feel bad, change it. This takes time, but every time you do it right, you feel better. And as you feel better, what you do gets better. Think about how you act with people when you feel down. You're quick to get angry, not paying attention, and not friendly. Now think about how you act with people when you feel okay. You're nicer, more focused, more giving. Which version of you does better in life? The answer is clear, and it all starts with the thoughts you let in. Here's another fact. Our brains like when things repeat. What you think about a lot becomes easier to think about again. This is why people who worry a lot keep finding new things to worry about. It's also why people who feel sure of themselves keep finding new ways to get better. How you feel isn't just because of one thought, but because of the way you think over and over each day. If you want to feel different, you need to stop the old ways of thinking and start new ones. It won't happen fast, but each time you change a bad thought into a good one, you're changing your brain. What happens to you in the future depends on if you really try to do this. People spend years trying to make their lives better, but they don't think about how they think. They want a better job, better health, better friends and family, But they don't think about the thoughts that make them feel and act the way they do. They don't see that their thoughts are the reason they keep getting the same results. You can give someone a new job, but if they still have old thoughts of not being good enough, they will still feel bad and they will not do well. You can give someone a new chance, but if they still believe negative thoughts, they will ruin things for themselves. Change your thoughts, and you change how you feel. Change how you feel, and you change how you act. Change how you act, and you change your life. Think about your own life. How many days have been wasted because of thoughts you could have noticed sooner? How many chances were missed because you felt doubtful instead of confident? How many talks became arguments because you let an angry thought stay too long? To have a better future, pay attention to the thoughts you have today. This means being honest with yourself. You need to admit that sometimes you have thoughts that don't help you. Everyone does this. But the difference between people who get better and those who don't is easy to see. The people who get better start paying attention to their thoughts. They learn to see them, guide them, and use them to grow. They take care of their mind like a garden, making sure only good things grow there. Over time, they feel happier, more steady, and able to handle tough times. It's simple to do. Start by writing down the thoughts you have most often. Look at them honestly. Are you thinking about things you're afraid of? Or are you thinking about things that make you strong? Do they make you feel stressed, or do they make you feel calm? Once you see what kind of thoughts you have, start changing them. If you write, "I'm not good enough," change it to, "I am getting better every day." If you write, "Life is unfair," change it to, "I am in charge of what I do next." You don't have to believe the new idea right away, but you should start trying it out. As time goes on, how you feel will match your new thoughts, and your life will match how you feel. Remember, you can control how you feel. Your thoughts are always changing it. That's why paying attention is needed if you want to grow. The secret is that your thoughts are guiding everything. Your energy, how you act, what you choose, who you know, and what happens to you. If you don't see this, you'll feel like your feelings control you. If you get good at this, you'll feel like you're in charge of your life. It's up to you. You can keep letting every thought decide how you feel, or you can start paying attention, guiding and changing your thoughts on purpose. One way makes you feel weak, the other makes you feel strong. And when you feel strong, you do strong things and you get strong results. That's why every thought you have is important. That's why seeing these thoughts is the first thing you need to do to really change. So, from now on, pay attention. See the thoughts when they come. Choose which ones you want to keep in your mind. Don't let bad thoughts control how you feel. Instead, think about things that make you feel steady, clear, and sure of yourself. Keep doing this until it becomes easy. You will feel happier, have more energy, and your life will show how strong your new way of thinking is. That's the secret. Your thoughts control everything, even how you feel right now. Chapter 2. Choose to stop thinking about things that make you tired. Everyone knows what it's like to feel their energy go away. You start the day with a plan, but sometime between morning and night, you feel tired. It's not because you did too much work, but because you had thoughts that made you weak. Thoughts that say you're falling behind. Thoughts that show you old mistakes. Thoughts that tell you you're not good enough. These thoughts don't just go away. They eat up, and they leave you feeling weak. If you want to live with clear focus and strength, you must choose to stop giving power to those thoughts. It starts with knowing. You can't fight what you don't know is there. Many people feel tired all the time, but don't know that their tiredness is not from not sleeping enough, but from the constant drain of bad thoughts. When your mind keeps saying what's wrong with your life, it's taking away the energy you could use to fix those problems. When you give power to those thoughts, you make them stronger, and the stronger they get, the weaker you feel. That's why the first choice must be clear. No more giving power to thoughts that make you feel bad. See how draining thoughts work. They hardly ever shout. They whisper. You might hear them when it's quiet. What if I don't succeed? What if they don't like me? What if things stay the same? At first, they seem tiny, but each time you think about them, they get bigger. Each time you go over them, they affect your mood more. By the end of the day, you feel tired, with no energy, and unable to relax. That is what happens when you focus on them, and it's not worth it if you want a good life. So how do you stop focusing on them? You decide that not every thought needs your attention. Thoughts are like people who visit. Some come to help, others come to hurt. You can't stop them from showing up, but you can decide who you let in. Focusing on a thought means you stay with it. You say it again, you make it strong. Ignoring a thought means you let it go. You change what you're thinking about. You don't let it get bigger. This choice changes everything because it lets you control your energy again. Think about what happens when you choose not to focus on a thought that makes you feel bad. Imagine it comes into your mind. You'll never do well. Before, you might have thought about it, talked about it, or let it run over and over until you felt bad. But now you stop and say, this thought does not help me. You don't think about it anymore. You change it to something easy but real. I'm trying to reach my goals today. Right then, you stop the bad thought from growing. You get back the power it was trying to take. That power helps you do things, not worry. Most people feel stuck not because they can't do things, but because they keep thinking bad thoughts. Each bad thought they think about gets stronger, and soon it becomes a habit. After a while, it becomes how they think, and how they think controls their life. But there is good news. Just like you made the habit by thinking bad thoughts, you can stop the habit by thinking good thoughts. It is always your choice. This takes work, and work is done by making one choice at a time. The first time you don't think about a bad thought, you feel a little bit free. The second time, you feel more powerful. The third time, it gets simpler. After a while, it turns into what you always do. You see bad thoughts fast, and you change where you are looking before they can steal from you. That is when you have more energy, because you are not wasting it on thoughts that help you in no way. Energy is worth a lot. With it, you can make things, invent, care for others, and get bigger. Without it, you feel trapped, even if everything in your life is still the same. That is why keeping your energy safe is one of the best things you can do. You keep it safe not by not working, but by not having thoughts that take your power and give nothing back. Every day, ask yourself, what thoughts today should I give my energy to? What ones should I not? Be real with yourself. Not every thought is worth your time. When you quit giving bad thoughts what they want, something great happens. You can think more clearly. Worry does not mess up how you think. Feeling bad about the past does not take your attention. You start to think very well. You begin to act with purpose, and this clarity spreads into every area of life. You make better decisions. You speak with more confidence. You handle challenges with more calm, all because you decided to starve the thoughts that used to weaken you. Think about the people you admire. They are not free from negative thoughts, no one island, but they have learned not to feed them. They don't spend hours replaying failure. They don't waste energy imagining rejection. They redirect quickly. They replace draining thoughts with thoughts that build them. That is why they seem strong. That is why they keep moving forward. The difference is not talent. It is discipline in what they feed their mind. Ask yourself, how many hours have you lost to thoughts that drained you? How many days felt wasted because you fed worry, anger, or doubt? How much energy could you have saved if you decided earlier not to entertain them? This is not about regret. It is about learning. From this moment forward, you can make a different choice. You can feed the thoughts that give you courage and starve the ones that drain you. The process is simple but requires practice. Step 1. Notice the thought. Step 2. Ask, does this thought give me strength or take it away? Step 3. If it drains you, refuse to dwell on it. Replace it with something constructive. You might think this sounds small, but small decisions repeated daily transform lives. Over time, you become a person who protects their energy, who uses their mind to build instead of destroy. Energy is the foundation of your growth. With energy, you can work hard, learn fast, and push through obstacles. Without it, you fall into patterns of procrastination and avoidance, and nothing drains energy faster than feeding thoughts that tear you down. That is why this decision matters so much. It is not just about feeling better. It is about reclaiming the strength to build the life you want. Consider this. When you feed draining thoughts, you create emotions like fear, anger, and shame. Those emotions then influence your actions. You avoid opportunities, you withdraw from people, you sabotage progress. When you stop feeding those thoughts, the emotions lose their power. Your mood becomes lighter, your actions become bolder, and your results improve. The chain reaction begins with the simple choice not to feed what drains you. Over time, your identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as someone controlled by random thoughts. You see yourself as someone who chooses, someone who protects their energy, someone who directs their mind toward what matters. This identity becomes your strength, and when challenges come, and they always do, you face them with a steady mind. You no longer waste energy on draining thoughts. You invest it in action, solutions, and growth. The hidden truth is that every draining thought wants your attention. It survives only if you feed it, starve it, and it dies. The more you practice this, the freer you become. The freer you become, the more energy you have. And with that energy, you can create, you can improve, you can live with power. This is not theory. This is the psychology of real life. Your thoughts shape your energy, and your energy shapes your life. So, make the decision today. Decide that you will no longer feed thoughts that weaken you. Decide that your energy is too valuable to waste. Decide that your mind is a space for strength, not for constant drain. Each decision adds up. Each refusal builds resilience. Every time you choose to ignore a tiring thought, you move closer to a life of clear thinking, focus, and strength. You decide what you focus on, and that will change your life. Choose carefully, protect your energy, and stop wasting it on thoughts that are not important. You will become stronger, clearer, and more alive than before. Chapter 3. Notice when your mind keeps having the same doubts. Doubt often appears in your life more than once. It doesn't just show up once and then leave. It comes back at different times and in different ways, but it always says the same thing. You're not ready. You can't do it. You don't deserve it. These doubts repeat because your mind is used to them. The brain remembers patterns, so if you've doubted yourself before, it's easier for your mind to think those same thoughts again. That's why you can't just beat doubt once. You have to stop it every time it comes back. When you keep doubting, it starts to feel normal, and things that feel normal start to feel real. That's the problem. A thought you've had 10 times feels more real than a thought you've only had once. If you don't stop this from happening, you start to live like doubt is real instead of just a habit. And when you live with doubt, you don't do as much. You hold back when you should move ahead. You stop when you should keep going. You talk yourself out of chances that could have changed your life. The important thing is to be aware. You have to learn to catch yourself in the moment, not after the day is done, not after the chance is gone, but right when the thought is trying to come back. Think about it. How many times have you heard yourself saying the same doubt before a talk, before making a choice, before trying something new? You've said it to yourself more than once, and each time it felt just as strong. That's the loop you need to stop. Catching yourself requires attention. You have to listen to your own mind. Most people are too distracted to even hear what they're saying to themselves. They live on autopilot, repeating doubts without realizing they are doing it. The first step is to slow down and listen. When your mind says you'll probably fail, notice it. When it says people will laugh at you, notice it. Don't let it slide by without recognition. That recognition is the moment of power because you can't change what you don't notice. Once you catch the doubt, you have to challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on evidence, or is it just a repeat of my old fear? Most of the time, it's just an old track playing again. Your mind is like a record that keeps spinning the same line. But just because the record plays doesn't mean you have to keep listening. You can stop it, you can question it, you can replace it. That is how you take back control. There's a psychological truth at work here. Repetition builds belief. If you say to yourself a doubtful line enough times, your brain will store it as something reliable. But here's the good news. Repetition works both ways. If you replace the doubt with a stronger truth and repeat that, your brain will eventually store that instead. This is how you reprogram the cycle. It starts by catching the doubt the moment it repeats, refusing to let it grow stronger, and deliberately putting something better in its place. Think about an athlete who is about to perform. Doubt always tries to sneak in. You'll mess up. You're not ready. If the athlete feeds it, their performance suffers. But if they catch it immediately and say, I trained for this, I know what to do, their body responds with confidence. The same principle applies to every area of life. The moment the doubt repeats, your response matters. Either you catch it and redirect, or you let it continue and weaken you. You also need to understand that doubts rarely disappear on their own. They thrive when you ignore them. Some people hope that if they just wait long enough, the doubts will go away. They don't. They recycle. They come back when you least want them to. That is why being passive doesn't work. You must make an active decision to notice and stop them. This is a skill. And like any skill, it grows stronger with practice. The more you catch yourself, the faster you'll recognize the pattern, and the easier it will become to stop it. Here's a practical way to start. Keep track of your doubts. Write them down when they show up. You'll be surprised how often they repeat the same theme. It may be about your ability, your worth, your future, or your past. Once you see the repetition, you'll realize your mind isn't that creative. It's recycling the same doubts over and over. Knowing this helps you stop taking them so seriously, because if it's the same old line, why keep falling for it? Why keep letting it drain your confidence? When you catch yourself, you also create space between the thought and your reaction. That space is crucial. Without it, you react automatically. You accept the doubt and your body follows with anxiety or hesitation. With space, you have a choice. You can decide, this thought does not define me. I will not let it control me. That choice is what separates people who move forward from those who stay stuck. Remember this, doubt doesn't show up to inform you. It shows up to stop you. Its only purpose is to hold you back from taking risks and growing. If you treat it like truth, it wins. If you catch it, you win. That decision made consistently changes your entire future, because every opportunity in your life will come with a dose of doubt. You can avoid it, but you can control your response to it. Imagine what would happen if you stopped letting repeated doubts run your life. You would take more chances. You would speak up when it matters. You would try new things without fear. Holding you down. Your confidence would grow because your actions would prove to you that you're capable, and every success, no matter how small, would weaken the grip of doubt further. Over time, the old pattern would lose its power. Catching yourself also helps with emotional energy. Repeated doubts are exhausting. They drain you because they play in your mind like a background noise all day long. When you interrupt them, you silence that noise. You free up mental energy for problem solving, for creativity, for connection with others. You start to feel lighter. Not because life suddenly got easier, but because you're no longer carrying the weight of endless doubts. It's important to be patient with yourself. The pattern of repeated doubt didn't start yesterday. It has been built over years of habit. Breaking it won't happen in a single day, but every time you catch yourself, you're breaking one more piece of the chain. Eventually, the cycle loses its hold, and you begin to live with more freedom. This progress is worth the effort, because nothing limits a person more than living under the constant influence of doubt. So decide right now that the next time doubt repeats itself in your mind, you will catch it. You will not let it slide by unnoticed. You will not give it the power of repetition. You will stand in that space, recognize it for what it is, and redirect your focus towards something useful. This one practice will change the quality of your days, the strength of your decisions, and the trajectory of your life. Every time doubt repeats, you have a chance to respond differently. If you miss it, you lose energy and confidence. If you catch it, you gain strength and clarity. And the more you choose strength, the more your life reflects that choice. That is the hidden truth. You are not stuck with doubt. You are only stuck if you don't notice it. Catch it and you break its cycle. Catch it and you stop. Set yourself free to grow, to act, and to live with the confidence that belongs to you. Chapter 4. Challenge the thoughts that tell you to stay small. Every person has heard that quiet voice inside telling them not to go too far, not to stand out, not to reach too high. It's the voice that says, stay where you are, don't make a scene, don't risk failure. That voice sounds protective, but in reality, it keeps you small. It convinces you that playing it safe is the smart thing, when in truth it robs you of opportunities to grow. If you want to live a bigger life, you have to challenge those thoughts directly. You cannot negotiate with them, and you cannot wait for them to disappear on their own. You must face them and confront them every time they try to control you. Thoughts that tell you to stay small are deeply rooted. They often come from past experiences, from criticism you've heard, or from fears you've carried for years. They might echo words you were told as a child, or moments when you failed and never forgot the sting. Over time, your mind stores these moments as evidence and replays them whenever you try to stretch beyond your comfort zone. This is why it feels so convincing when the thought comes. It sounds like truth, but it's not truth. It's memory and fear disguised as truth. To grow, you have to call it out for what it is. When you challenge a thought, you are asking it to prove itself. If your mind tells you you're not ready for this, you pause and ask, why not? What proof do I have that I can't handle this? When you look for the proof, most of the time you find nothing real. You realize it's just an old assumption showing up again. That moment of questioning breaks the illusion. The thought loses its power when you refuse to accept it without evidence. Challenging small thoughts also requires courage. It means you must be willing to do what feels uncomfortable. You will hear the voice of fear, but instead of obeying it, you act against. For example, if the thought says, "Don't speak up," you might embarrass yourself. The challenge is to speak anyway. Each time you do this, you weaken the grip of those thoughts. Each time you prove to yourself that you can step forward, your confidence grows. This is how you replace the habit of staying small with the habit of living larger. The danger of not challenging those thoughts is that they become a way of life. If you keep believing them, you start to shrink your choices. You stop taking chances. You stop trying new things. You limit yourself before the world even has a chance to test you. And over the years, your life becomes smaller than it should have been. Not because you weren't capable, but because you believed the lie that told you not to try. That is a tragedy you must avoid. The truth is that growth only happens when you push beyond where you are, and pushing beyond where you are always comes with discomfort. The thoughts that tell you to stay small are simply trying to keep you in comfort, but comfort is not where progress lives. Comfort is where dreams die slowly, because nothing changes there. To challenge those thoughts, you must remind yourself that discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is proof that you're stretching, proof that you're growing, proof that you're doing something that matters. Consider the people who achieve extraordinary results. They face the same thoughts as you do. They hear the same inner warnings. But they challenge them. They ask, why not me? Why not now? They refuse to let small thoughts dictate their lives. That refusal is what sets them apart. It's not that they never feel fear or doubt. It's that they don't let worry or uncertainty choose for them. They choose and then they do it. You can start by noticing the exact words your mind uses to make you feel small. It might say, "This is too much for you." It might say, "Others are better than you." It might say, "If you try, you'll just fail." Once you know these phrases, you can get ready to answer them. Instead of just agreeing, you make it a habit to fight back. When the thought says, "This is too much for you," you say, "I'll get better at it." When the thought says, "Others are better," you say, "I can learn and get better." When the thought says, "You'll fail," you say, "I'll try, and if I fail, I'll get better." This active fight changes your mind from just accepting things to growing. There's more to it than that. Staying small doesn't just hurt you, it hurts everyone around you. When you don't use your full power, the people in your life don't get all the good things you could have given them. When you try to do more and use your skills, it helps your family, friends, and everyone around you. If you don't try to do much, it hurts you and the people who need you. Remembering this can help you stop listening to thoughts that hold you back. To fight these thoughts, you need to create a place where you can grow. If you are around people who don't think big, they will say things that make you doubt yourself even more. But if you're around people who keep trying, they will show you how to fight your own doubts. You need to choose carefully who you spend time with, because they can make your good or bad thoughts stronger. Think about how your body feels when you agree with a thought that tells you to stay small. You might feel tightness in your chest, breathe slower, and have your shoulders drop. Think about how your body feels when you push yourself and do it anyway. You stand up straighter, you breathe more deeply, and you feel more energy. This change in your body is important because it helps you stick to your new habit. Every time you do something, even though you have a small doubt, you change not only your mind, but also your body. Your whole self starts to learn that you can do more than you thought you could. One of the best ways to fight small doubts is by taking action. The longer you think and argue with a doubt in your head, the stronger it becomes. But when you act, even though you have that doubt, it becomes weaker. Action is proof that your mind can't ignore. If you think you can't speak in public, but you do it anyway, you show that thought is wrong. That experience becomes proof you can use the next time that thought comes back. Over time, these experiences add up, creating a new set of beliefs that help you grow instead of holding you back. It's important to be real with yourself about what you risk. If you keep following thoughts that make you feel small, your future won't be any better than now. Years later, you'll see that nothing has changed. This isn't because you didn't have chances, but because you weren't brave enough to question your thoughts. But if you start now, if you decide today that you won't listen to those thoughts anymore, your future will be completely different. You'll look back and see how you've grown, moved forward, and changed, all because you chose to fight for a better life. There will always be times when you feel held back. The thoughts will come back. They might appear every time you try something new. That's okay. Don't think they'll go away forever. Know they're coming and be prepared to challenge them. As time goes on, they'll have less power, not because they stop coming back, but because you stop letting them control you. You'll hear them and know right away that they're not true. Knowing this will help you save time, effort, and many chances you might miss. The most freeing thing to understand is that you are not the same as your thoughts. Just because your mind has a thought that holds you back doesn't mean you have to let it control you. You are not your thoughts. You can take a step back, see the thought, and pick a new way to act. That is true freedom. That is how you get back in charge of what happens to you. So when your mind tells you to stay small, respond with action. Respond with bravery. Respond by choosing to grow instead of getting smaller. Every time you do this, you change the story of your life. Every time you do, you become a better version of yourself. And that better version is the one who makes things, helps others, and lives with power. Your life will always grow or shrink to the size of your thoughts. If you think small, your life will be small. If you push your thoughts, make them stronger, and help them grow, your life will grow too. It is your choice every day. Don't let your life be held back by the fake safety of staying small. Question those thoughts, live bigger, and see how things around you start to change. Chapter 5. Practice choosing thoughts that make you feel able. The way you think about yourself is the base of how you act, and nothing builds confidence faster than practicing choosing thoughts that make you feel able. Most people don't understand this truth. They think being able is only built through skills, experience, or success. But the real truth is this. Before you can do well, you must think well. Every choice you make, every step you take, starts in your mind. If you train your thoughts to help you instead of hurt you, you start to find a strength you may have never known before. When you practice choosing thoughts that make you feel able, you are not pretending or lying to yourself. Instead, you are aligning your thoughts with your potential. You are recognizing the strength that already exists within you, waiting to be used. This is not about arrogance or overconfidence. It is about self-respect and self-belief. It is about understanding that your thoughts have power, and you can choose to use that power to build yourself up. This practice is not a one-time event. It is a daily commitment, a continuous choice. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to challenge your own negative thought patterns. But the rewards are immense. As you consistently choose thoughts that make you feel capable, you will begin to see yourself in a new light. You will approach challenges with more confidence, take risks with more courage, and achieve goals you once thought were impossible. The key is to start small and be consistent. Begin by identifying the negative thoughts that hold you back. These might be thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this," or "I'm going to fail." Once you have identified these thoughts, challenge them. Ask yourself if they are really true. Are they based on facts, or are they based on fear and insecurity? More often than not, you will find that these thoughts are not based on reality. They are simply stories you have been telling yourself for years. Once you have challenged these negative thoughts, replace them with positive ones. Choose thoughts that make you feel capable, strong, and confident. These might be thoughts like, I am capable, I can do this, or I am going to succeed. Repeat these thoughts to yourself throughout the day, especially when you are facing a challenge. The more you repeat these thoughts, the more you will believe them. And the more you believe them, the more capable you will become. This practice is not about ignoring your weaknesses or pretending that you are perfect. It is about recognizing your strengths and focusing on your potential. It is about understanding that you are capable of achieving great things, even if you don't always feel like it. Remember, your thoughts are powerful. They have the ability to shape your reality. Choose them wisely and use them to build the life you want. Chapter 6. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. One of the most common reasons people delay taking action on their goals is that they are waiting for the perfect conditions. They believe that everything needs to be just right before they can start. They might be waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, the perfect amount of money, or the perfect level of knowledge. But the truth is, perfect conditions rarely exist, and if you wait for them, you will likely be waiting forever. The world is constantly changing, and there will always be challenges and obstacles in your path. If you insist on waiting for everything to be perfect, you will miss out on countless opportunities and waste valuable time. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions, learn to create your own. Don't let the lack of resources, knowledge, or support hold you back. Start with what you have, where you are, and do what you can. The most successful people are not those who have everything handed to them on a silver platter. They are those who are resourceful, resilient, and willing to take action despite the obstacles in their path. They understand that progress is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about making the most of every moment. Here are some ways to stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating your own. 1. Identify your limiting beliefs. What are the beliefs that are holding you back from taking action? Do you believe that you need more money, more knowledge, or more experience before you can start? Challenge these beliefs and ask yourself if they are really true. Are they based on facts, or are they based on fear and insecurity? 2. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. Instead of dwelling on what you don't have, focus on the resources, skills, and knowledge that you already possess. How can you use these assets to move closer to your goals? 3. Start small and build momentum. You don't have to do everything at once. Start with a small, manageable step that you can take today. As you start to see progress, you will build momentum and gain the confidence to tackle bigger challenges. 4. Embrace imperfection. Don't let the fear of failure or making mistakes hold you back. Understand that mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. The most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who learn from their failures and keep moving forward. 5. Be resourceful and creative. If you don't have the resources you need, find ways to get them. Look for free resources online, network with people who can help you, or find creative ways to bootstrap your way to success. 6. Take action even when you don't feel ready. Don't wait until you feel 100% confident before you take action. Sometimes the best way to overcome your fears is to simply jump in and do it. The more you take action, the more confident you will become. 7. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments along the way. This will help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. Waiting for perfect conditions is a recipe for stagnation and disappointment. Instead, embrace the challenges, take action despite your fears, and create your own opportunities. The world is waiting for you to unleash your potential. Don't let it wait any longer. Chapter 7. Stop comparing yourself to others. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. Social media is filled with carefully curated images of people living seemingly perfect lives. It's tempting to look at these images and feel inadequate, as if you're not measuring up. But the truth is, comparing yourself to others is a destructive habit that can lead to feelings of envy, insecurity, and low self-esteem. It's a game you can never win, because there will always be someone who appears to be more successful, more attractive, or more accomplished than you. The problem with comparing yourself to others is that you're only seeing a small, often distorted part of their lives. You're not seeing the struggles, the challenges, and the sacrifices they've made to get where they are. You're also not taking into account your own unique strengths, talents, and circumstances. Everyone is on their own journey, and everyone has their own unique path to follow. Comparing yourself to others is like comparing apples to oranges. It's not fair to yourself, and it's not accurate. So, how can you break free from the trap of comparison and start focusing on your own journey? Here are some strategies that can help. 1. Recognize your own unique value. You have unique talents, skills, and experiences that no one else possesses. Focus on developing these strengths and using them to make a positive impact on the world. 2. Celebrate your own accomplishments. Instead of focusing on what you haven't achieved, take time to acknowledge and celebrate your own successes, no matter how small. 3. Practice gratitude. Focus on the things you're grateful for in your life, rather than dwelling on what you lack. This will help you cultivate a more positive and appreciative mindset. 4. Limit your exposure to social media. Social media can be a valuable tool for connecting with others and staying informed, but it can also be a breeding ground for comparison and envy. Limit your time on social media and be mindful of the content you're consuming. 5. Focus on your own goals and values. What's important to you? What do you want to achieve in your life? Focus on pursuing your own goals and living in alignment with your values, rather than trying to measure up to someone else's standards. 6. Remember that everyone has their own struggles. Even the people who seem to have it all together are likely facing challenges and insecurities of their own. Be compassionate and understanding towards others, and remember that you're not alone in your struggles. 7. Surround yourself with supportive people. Spend time with people who uplift you, encourage you, and celebrate your successes. Avoid people who constantly criticize you or make you feel inadequate. Comparing yourself to others is a waste of time and energy. It's a habit that will only hold you back from reaching your full potential. Instead, focus on your own journey, celebrate your own accomplishments, and embrace your own unique value. You are enough, just as you are. Chapter 8. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. One of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and happiness is the inability to forgive yourself for past mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's a natural part of being human. But when we dwell on our mistakes and beat ourselves up about them, we create a cycle of negativity that can hold us back from moving forward. Guilt, shame, and regret are powerful emotions that you are training your inner voice to help you use the skills you already have. Remember times when you didn't believe in yourself. You had the skills and the chance, but you let weak thoughts stop you from using what you knew. But when you thought you were able, you did better. The difference was not your skill, but the thoughts you had before. Being able is not just about what you know, it's about how you think about what you know. Someone who thinks, "I can do this," will do better than someone who knows more but thinks, "I can't do this." That's how powerful it is to choose your thoughts on purpose. If you want to be more confident, you need to practice thoughts that make you strong, not weak. This is not just a one-time thing, but something you do every day. The problem is that your mind doesn't always choose helpful thoughts on its own. When you're by yourself, you might start to feel unsure, scared, or like you're not as good as others. That's why it's important to keep practicing. Just like your muscles get stronger when you work out, your mind gets stronger when you keep choosing helpful thoughts. Every time you stop yourself from saying, "I can't," and instead say, "I'll give it a try," you're making your ability stronger. Every time you change your thinking from "this is too hard" to "I'll take it one step at a time," you're showing yourself that you can pick thoughts that help you. How does it feel when you think in a way that makes you feel capable? Your body reacts, and you breathe more easily. You stand up straighter. You see yourself starting tasks with a feeling of being steady instead of unsure. Your feelings change too. You feel more relaxed, clear-headed, and ready. This isn't magic, it's how your mind works. Thoughts come first, feelings come next, and then you act based on both. If you want to act like you're capable, start by thinking that you are. Being patient is also important when learning this skill. At first, the old thoughts will come back. They have been with you for a long time, so they will not go away quickly. You might hear thoughts like, "You will fail," or "You are not good enough." But this is when you need to practice the most. Instead of listening to those thoughts, pick a new one. Tell yourself, I am ready and I will learn as I do it, or I have done well before and I can again. If you do this regularly, you change how your brain reacts. Slowly, the helpful thoughts become easier to think than the ones that make you doubt yourself. One of the best ways to practice is in small ways. You do not have to wait for big problems. You have many chances every day. When you wake up, instead of saying, "This day will be hard," say, "I can deal with what happens today." When you start a job, instead of thinking, "I will likely fail," choose to think, "I will try my hardest." The path to emotional intelligence is paved with daily choices. It's about choosing understanding over reaction and growth over stagnation. It's recognizing that every moment presents an opportunity to refine how you respond to the world and to yourself. Each interaction, each challenge, each success, and each setback is a chance to practice emotional intelligence. It's a continuous journey, not a destination, and every step forward is a victory. In the workplace, emotional intelligence is not just a personal asset, it's a professional necessity. It determines how well you collaborate with colleagues, lead teams, and navigate the complexities of organizational dynamics. A leader with high emotional intelligence can inspire and motivate, creating a positive and productive work environment. They understand the needs and perspectives of their team members, fostering trust and open communication. Conflicts are resolved constructively, and feedback is given and received with grace. Emotional intelligence also plays a crucial role in customer relations. Understanding and responding to customer emotions can lead to increased satisfaction and loyalty. By empathizing with customer concerns and addressing them with patience and understanding, businesses can build strong, lasting relationships. This not only benefits the company, but also enhances the customer experience, making it more personal and meaningful. In personal relationships, emotional intelligence is the cornerstone of healthy and fulfilling connections. It allows you to understand and respond to the emotions of your loved ones, creating a deeper sense of intimacy and connection. It enables you to communicate your own feelings effectively, resolving conflicts with empathy and understanding. By practicing emotional intelligence in your personal life, you can build stronger, more resilient relationships that bring joy and support. Emotional intelligence is not an innate trait. It is a skill that can be developed and honed through practice and dedication. It requires a willingness to be self-aware, to recognize your own emotions and how they impact your behavior. It involves learning to manage your emotions effectively, responding to situations with thoughtfulness and composure. It also entails developing empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. By focusing on these key areas, you can cultivate emotional intelligence and reap its many benefits in all aspects of your life. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to recognize your own emotions, understand why you're feeling them, and how they affect your thoughts and actions. This involves paying attention to your internal cues, such as your physical sensations, thoughts, and feelings. It also means being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. By developing self-awareness, you can gain a better understanding of yourself and how you interact with the world. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage your emotions effectively. It's not about suppressing your feelings, but rather about understanding them and responding to them in a healthy way. This involves learning to control impulsive reactions, managing stress, and maintaining a positive outlook. By developing emotional regulation skills, you can navigate challenging situations with greater ease and resilience. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's about putting yourself in someone else's shoes and seeing the world from their perspective. This involves listening attentively, paying attention to nonverbal cues, and showing genuine concern for others. By developing empathy, you can build stronger relationships, communicate more effectively, and create a more compassionate world. The journey of emotional intelligence is not always easy. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront your own shortcomings. There will be times when you stumble, when you react impulsively, or when you fail to understand someone else's perspective. But these moments are opportunities for growth. By learning from your mistakes and continuing to practice, you can gradually develop your emotional intelligence and become a more compassionate, understanding, and effective person. One of the biggest challenges in developing emotional intelligence is overcoming your own biases and assumptions. We all have preconceived notions about the world and the people in it, and these biases can cloud our judgment and prevent us from truly understanding others. To overcome these biases, it's important to be open-minded, to question your own assumptions, and to seek out diverse perspectives. It also means being willing to admit when you're wrong and to learn from your mistakes. Another challenge is managing your own emotions in the face of adversity. When you're feeling stressed, angry, or overwhelmed, it can be difficult to think clearly and to respond in a thoughtful way. In these situations, it's important to take a step back, to breathe deeply, and to remind yourself of your values and goals. It also helps to have a support system of friends, family, or colleagues who can offer encouragement and guidance. Finally, developing emotional intelligence requires a commitment to lifelong learning. The world is constantly changing, and there are always new things to learn about yourself and others. By staying curious, seeking out new experiences, and continuing to practice, you can continue to grow and develop your emotional intelligence throughout your life. Emotional intelligence is not just a set of skills, it's a way of being. It's about approaching the world with openness, curiosity, and compassion. It's about recognizing the humanity in yourself and others and striving to create a more just and equitable world. By embracing emotional intelligence, you can transform your life and the lives of those around you. In addition to the personal and professional benefits, emotional intelligence also has broader societal implications. In a world that is increasingly interconnected and complex, the ability to understand and relate to others is more important than ever. Emotional intelligence can help us bridge divides, resolve conflicts, and build stronger communities. It can also help us address some of the biggest challenges facing our world, such as poverty, inequality, and climate change. By cultivating emotional intelligence on a global scale, we can create a more peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable future for all. Emotional intelligence is a journey, not a destination. It's a lifelong process of learning, growing, and evolving. There will be ups and downs, successes and setbacks. But by staying committed to the path, you can unlock your full potential and make a positive impact on the world. So embrace the journey, be patient with yourself, and never stop learning. The world needs your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the key to unlocking your full potential, building strong relationships, and creating a more compassionate world. It's a skill that can be learned and developed through practice and dedication. By focusing on self-awareness, emotional regulation, and empathy, you can cultivate emotional intelligence and reap its many benefits in all aspects of your life. So, take the first step on the journey today and discover the power of emotional intelligence. The benefits of emotional intelligence extend far beyond the individual level. Organizations with emotionally intelligent leaders and employees tend to have higher levels of employee engagement, productivity, and innovation. They also experience lower rates of turnover and absenteeism. In addition, emotionally intelligent organizations are better able to adapt to change, manage conflict, and build strong relationships with customers and stakeholders. Emotional intelligence is also a critical factor in leadership effectiveness. Leaders with high emotional intelligence are better able to inspire and motivate their teams, build trust and rapport, and make sound decisions under pressure. They are also more likely to create a positive and supportive work environment where employees feel valued and respected. In today's rapidly changing world, emotional intelligence is becoming increasingly important for success in all areas of life. As technology continues to advance and the pace of change accelerates, the ability to understand and manage emotions, build relationships, and collaborate effectively will be essential for navigating the complexities of the modern world. Emotional intelligence is not just a soft skill. It is a critical skill that can help you achieve your goals, build strong relationships, and make a positive impact on the world. By developing your emotional intelligence, you can unlock your full potential and create a brighter future for yourself and those around you. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions, as well as recognize and influence the emotions of others. It's about being aware of how your feelings and actions affect those around you, and using that awareness to build stronger relationships, communicate more effectively, and achieve your goals. Emotional intelligence is often referred to as EQ, emotional quotient, as opposed to IQ, intelligence quotient, which measures cognitive abilities. While IQ is important for academic and intellectual success, EQ is crucial for personal and professional success. In fact, research has shown that EQ is a stronger predictor of success in the workplace than IQ. There are 5 key components of emotional intelligence: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize your own emotions and understand how they affect your thoughts and behavior. It's about being honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses, and understanding your values and goals. Self-regulation is the ability to control your emotions and impulses. It's about managing your stress, staying calm under pressure, and responding to challenging situations in a thoughtful and constructive way. Motivation is the ability to pursue your goals with passion and persistence. It's about being driven by intrinsic. When you talk to someone, instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you pick, "I have something to give." These small picks add up. They make a habit of thinking you can do things, which gets you ready for bigger problems later. You might ask, does it really matter what I think if I still have to deal with what's real? The answer is yes, because what you think changes how you deal with what's real. 2 people can face the same problem, one thinking, "I'll work this out," and the other thinking, "I'll never work this out." Which one is more likely to find answers? Which one is more likely to keep going when things get hard? The same problem, but 2 different results, just because of 2 different ways of thinking. There is another part to this practice: the words you use with yourself. Pay attention to the words in your head. Do you often say, "I can't," "I won't," or "I'm not"? These words make you who you are. To feel able, you must change them with words that help you. "I can," "I will," and "I am learning" are important words because your mind hears them. As time passes, they set a new idea of who you are. This doesn't mean you ignore what you're not good at. Being able to do things doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you think you can get better, change, and grow. It means you trust that you can handle anything or learn from it. When you think like this, problems don't stop you. They help you grow. You don't see mistakes as proof that you've failed. You see them as proof that you're trying, and you know you can use them to improve. Just thinking like this will put you way ahead of people who give up because they think they can't do it. Think about when you've done well in the past. Each time started when you chose to believe you could do it. Even if you were worried, even if you weren't sure, you still thought, "I'll try," or "I can do this." Think about your current skills and talents. They weren't always there. You developed them through time, effort, and practice. You are not the same person you were a year ago or even a month ago. You are constantly evolving, whether you realize it or not. Your capacity for growth is limitless. You can learn new things, develop new skills, and overcome new challenges. The only thing that can stop you is your own mind. If you believe you can't, you won't. But if you believe you can, you will surprise yourself with what you are capable of. So, start using those words. I can, I will, and I am learning. Let them shape your mindset and guide your actions. See yourself as someone who is capable, resilient, and always growing. When you do, you will unlock your full potential and achieve things you never thought possible. Remember that learning is a continuous process. It's not something you finish, but something you embrace. Every day brings new opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. Don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone and try new things. The more you learn, the more confident you will become in your abilities. And as your confidence grows, so will your willingness to take on new challenges. This is a virtuous cycle that will propel you forward in all areas of your life. Embrace the journey of learning, and you will discover that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Always seek new knowledge, new skills, and new experiences. The world is full of opportunities waiting to be discovered. Be open to learning from everyone and everything around you. Think about the people you admire. What qualities do they possess that you would like to develop in yourself? What skills do they have that you would like to learn? Use them as inspiration and motivation. Study their habits, their attitudes, and their approaches to challenges. But don't try to be them. Be yourself and learn from them. Take what resonates with you and adapt it to your own unique style and personality. The goal is not to become a copy of someone else, but to become the best version of yourself. Surround yourself with people who support your growth and encourage you to pursue your dreams. Their positive energy will help you stay motivated and focused, even when things get tough. Remember that setbacks are a normal part of the learning process. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone experiences failures. Don't let these setbacks discourage you. Instead, use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Analyze what went wrong, identify the lessons you can learn, and adjust your approach accordingly. The most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who learn from their failures and keep moving forward. Develop a growth mindset, which means believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset will help you see challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as threats to your ego. Embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, and learn from criticism. Practice gratitude for what you already have. Take time each day to appreciate the good things in your life, both big and small. Gratitude has been shown to increase happiness, reduce stress, and improve overall well-being. When you focus on what you have, you are less likely to dwell on what you lack. This positive mindset will help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. It will also make you more resilient in the face of challenges. Keep a gratitude journal and write down things you are thankful for each day. This simple practice can have a profound impact on your outlook and your ability to achieve your goals. Share your gratitude with others and let them know how much you appreciate them. Visualize your success. Imagine yourself achieving your goals and feel the emotions associated with that success. Visualization can help you create a clear mental picture of what you want to achieve, and it can also help you build confidence and motivation. The more vividly you can imagine your success, the more likely you are to achieve it. Use all of your senses to create a realistic and compelling vision. See yourself succeeding, hear the sounds of celebration, feel the emotions of accomplishment, smell the aromas of success, and taste the sweetness of victory. Practice visualization regularly and let it fuel your efforts. Combine visualization with action and take concrete steps towards your goals. Affirm your potential. Use positive self-talk to reinforce your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They can help you reprogram your subconscious mind and create a more positive self-image. Choose affirmations that resonate with you and repeat them throughout the day. Write them down, say them out loud, and feel the emotions associated with them. Some examples of affirmations include, I am capable of achieving my goals. I am intelligent and resourceful. I am confident and successful. I am worthy of happiness and success, and I am grateful for all the good things in my life. Use affirmations to counteract negative thoughts and beliefs and to reinforce your positive self-image. Take action every day. Don't just dream about your goals, take concrete steps towards achieving them. Break your goals down into smaller, more manageable tasks and focus on completing one task at a time. Even small steps can make a big difference over time. The key is to be consistent and to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Develop a daily routine that supports your goals and stick to it as much as possible. Make time for learning, for practice, and for taking action. The more consistent you are, the more progress you will make. Celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small, and use them as motivation to keep going. Seek feedback from others. Ask for constructive criticism from people you trust, and use their feedback to improve your performance. Be open to hearing what others have to say, even if it's not what you want to hear. Remember that feedback is a gift, and it can help you identify areas where you need to improve. Don't take criticism personally. Instead, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Ask clarifying questions to make sure you understand the feedback, and then develop a plan for addressing the issues that have been raised. Thank the person who gave you the feedback and let them know how you plan to use it. Persist through obstacles. Don't give up when things get tough. Every worthwhile goal requires effort and perseverance. There will be times when you feel discouraged, frustrated, or overwhelmed. But it's important to remember why you started and to keep moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Develop a strong sense of resilience, which is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adversity. Learn from your mistakes and use them as opportunities to grow stronger and more determined. Surround yourself with people who support you and encourage you to keep going. Celebrate your small victories and use them as motivation to keep pushing forward. Learn from your mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but not everyone learns from them. The key is to analyze your mistakes, identify the lessons you can learn, and adjust your approach accordingly. Don't dwell on your mistakes or beat yourself up about them. Instead, see them as opportunities to grow and improve. Ask yourself what you could have done differently and what you can do better next time. Develop a growth mindset, which means believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset will help you see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as threats to your ego. Celebrate your successes. Take time to acknowledge and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. Celebrating your successes will help you build confidence and motivation, and it will also make you more likely to achieve your goals in the future. Share your successes with others and let them celebrate with you. Reward yourself for your hard work and do something that you enjoy. The more you celebrate your successes, the more positive energy you will attract into your life. Keep a record of your accomplishments and review it regularly to remind yourself of how far you have come. Help others achieve their goals. One of the best ways to achieve your own goals is to help others achieve theirs. When you help others, you not only make a positive difference in their lives, but you also strengthen your own skills and abilities. Helping others can also give you a sense of purpose and fulfillment, which can boost your motivation and happiness. Look for opportunities to mentor, coach, or support others in their pursuit of their goals. Share your knowledge, your skills, and your experiences with others. The more you give, the more you will receive. Stay focused on your goals. It's easy to get distracted by other things, but it's important to stay focused on your goals if you want to achieve them. Keep your goals top. That idea made you want to do something, and that action made something happen that proved you could do it. If you had thought something different, things would have gone differently. That's why it's so helpful to practice thinking you can do things. It makes you feel sure of yourself and helps you grow. Imagine if every day you decided to think at least 10 thoughts that showed you could handle things. 10 times when you told yourself you could do it, or that you knew you were able to. By the end of the week, you would have chosen 70 strong thoughts. By the end of the month, 100. Doing this over and over again makes it easier. It creates a new normal in your mind. You don't have to force yourself to believe anymore. You start to think in a way that naturally helps you feel strong. Some people want to see proof before they believe they can do something. They say they'll believe it after they succeed, but that's not the right way to do it. You have to think you can before you succeed, not after. You need to think in a strong way first, even if you don't feel like it yet. Then, the things you do will show that you are strong. If you wait to see proof before you think strong thoughts, you will stay stuck. Thinking in a strong way first is how you make the proof happen. Also, see how your friendships change when you think in a strong way. When you trust yourself, you act in a different way. You give more to others and you talk to people with trust instead of worry. People will trust and respect you more. They can feel that you are steady. This makes new chances to meet people, to grow, and to do well. All of this comes from the easy but strong choice to think thoughts that make you feel strong. Your life has many times that test you. Some are small and some are big. But in all of them, the way you think decides what happens. If you think in a weak way, you will feel weak. If you think in a strong way, you will feel strong. You always have a choice, and each time you pick being able, you make it stronger. Each time you say no to doubt, you make it weaker. As time goes on, you create a mind that helps you reach your best instead of hurting it. So promise yourself this. Practice every day. Don't wait for something special. Don't wait for everything to be just right. Start now. Change one weak thought into one strong thought. Then do it again the next day and the day after that. Soon, you'll see a change. You'll feel tougher, more sure of yourself, more prepared. And when problems come, you'll deal with them calmly, knowing you've made it a habit to pick being able. This is the secret to growing as a person. The real strength is not waiting to feel sure, but choosing it through the thoughts you let in. You don't have to let doubt decide who you are. You can decide for yourself. Every strong thought is like a seed of strength, and the more you plant, the stronger you will be in the future. In the tapestry of existence, humanity finds itself confronted with a myriad of choices, each serving as a brushstroke that contributes to the evolving masterpiece of self. Among these choices, the decision to embrace capability stands as a beacon, illuminating the path toward personal growth and the realization of inherent potential. Conversely, the succumbing to doubt casts a shadow, hindering progress and obscuring the boundless possibilities that lie within. The cultivation of capability is not an instantaneous phenomenon, but rather a gradual process, akin to the nurturing of a delicate seedling. Each deliberate choice to act with competence, to confront challenges head-on, and to persevere in the face of adversity serves as a vital nutrient, fortifying the roots of capability and fostering its steady growth. Over time, these cumulative choices coalesce, forming a robust foundation upon which one can confidently stand, ready to weather the storms of life. Conversely, the insidious nature of doubt lies in its ability to erode one's sense of self-efficacy, gradually undermining confidence and fostering a sense of inadequacy. Each time one yields to doubt, allowing it to dictate actions and decisions, its grip tightens, constricting the flow of potential and hindering the pursuit of aspirations. Doubt, if left unchecked, can metastasize into a self-fulfilling prophecy, transforming perceived limitations into tangible barriers. The cumulative effect of these choices, whether directed toward capability or doubt, shapes the very architecture of the mind. A mind nurtured by capability becomes a steadfast ally, providing unwavering support and empowering one to overcome obstacles. It fosters a sense of resilience, enabling one to bounce back from setbacks and emerge stronger than before. Conversely, a mind riddled with doubt becomes a treacherous adversary, constantly undermining confidence and sabotaging efforts. It fosters a sense of vulnerability, making one susceptible to the whims of circumstance and hindering the pursuit of dreams. Therefore, it is imperative to make a conscious commitment to cultivate capability and dispel doubt. This commitment should not be viewed as a lofty ideal to be pursued on special occasions or under perfect conditions, but rather as a daily practice, integrated into the fabric of everyday life. Start today, in this very moment, by replacing a single weak thought with a capable one. Then, repeat this exercise tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that. With each deliberate act of choosing capability, you are reinforcing a neural pathway, strengthening the connection between thought and action. Before long, you will begin to notice a profound shift in your perception of self and your ability to navigate the world. You will feel more resilient, better equipped to withstand the inevitable challenges that life throws your way. You will feel more confident, secure in your ability to overcome obstacles and achieve your goals. You will feel more ready, prepared to seize opportunities and embrace the fullness of your potential. And when challenges inevitably arise, as they always do, you will face them with a steady mind, unburdened by the weight of doubt. You will know, deep down, that you have cultivated the habit of choosing capability, that you have trained your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems, on possibilities rather than limitations. This unwavering belief in your own ability will serve as an anchor, grounding you in the midst of chaos and empowering you to navigate even the most turbulent waters. This, then, is the hidden truth of personal growth, the key that unlocks the door to a life of fulfillment and purpose. The real power lies not in waiting for confidence to magically appear, but in actively choosing it, moment by moment, through the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind. You do not have to be a passive recipient of doubt, allowing it to dictate your identity and shape your destiny. You have the power to choose, to decide for yourself who you are and what you are capable of achieving. Every capable thought is a seed of strength, a tiny but potent force that, when nurtured, can blossom into extraordinary results. The more you plant these seeds, the more you cultivate a mindset of capability, the stronger your future will become. You will attract opportunities, overcome obstacles, and achieve goals that once seemed unattainable. You will become the architect of your own destiny, shaping your life according to your own vision and values. So, embrace the power of choice, cultivate capability, and dispel doubt. Make this your daily practice, your unwavering commitment. Start today, and watch as your life transforms into a masterpiece of your own creation. In the grand theatre of existence, individuals are perpetually presented with a spectrum of choices, each acting as a pivotal stroke in the ever-evolving canvas of self-discovery. Among this vast array of options, the conscious decision to embrace one's inherent capabilities emerges as a radiant beacon, illuminating the intricate pathways toward personal enrichment and the profound realization of untapped potential. Conversely, succumbing to the insidious allure of doubt casts a long, ominous shadow, effectively impeding progress and obscuring the boundless realm of possibilities that reside within the depths of the human spirit. The deliberate cultivation of capability is not a spontaneous occurrence, akin to a sudden burst of ephemeral brilliance, but rather a meticulously orchestrated gradual process, bearing a striking resemblance to the diligent nurturing of a delicate seedling. Each carefully considered and executed choice to engage with unwavering competence, to confront daunting challenges with unwavering resolve, and to steadfastly persevere in the face of seemingly insurmountable adversity serves as a vital nutrient, fortifying the intricate root system of capability and fostering its consistent, unwavering growth. Over the passage of time, these cumulative choices coalesce into a formidable foundation upon which individuals can confidently establish themselves, poised to weather the inevitable storms that life invariably unleashes. Conversely, the insidious and often subtle nature of doubt lies in its inherent ability to gradually erode an individual's sense of self-efficacy, progressively undermining their confidence and fostering a pervasive sense of inadequacy. Each instance in which an individual yields to the seductive whispers of doubt, allowing it to dictate their subsequent actions and decisions, results in a tightening of its constricting grip, effectively impeding the natural flow of potential and hindering the earnest pursuit of deeply cherished aspirations. If left unchecked and allowed to fester, doubt can insidiously metastasize into a self-fulfilling prophecy, transforming perceived limitations into tangible and often insurmountable barriers. The cumulative effect of these seemingly disparate choices, whether consciously directed toward the deliberate cultivation of capability or inadvertently influenced by the insidious presence of doubt, profoundly shapes the very architecture of the human mind. A mind that has been diligently nurtured by the unwavering embrace of capability evolves into a steadfast and reliable ally, providing unwavering support and empowering individuals to effectively overcome obstacles with grace and resilience. It fosters an indomitable sense of resilience, enabling individuals to rebound from setbacks with renewed vigor and emerge from adversity stronger and more determined than ever before. Conversely, a mind that is relentlessly riddled with the pervasive tendrils of doubt transforms into a treacherous and unreliable adversary, constantly undermining an individual's confidence and effectively sabotaging their most earnest efforts. It fosters a crippling sense of vulnerability, rendering individuals susceptible to the capricious whims of circumstance and hindering the passionate pursuit of their most deeply held dreams. Therefore, it is of paramount importance to make a conscious and unwavering commitment to diligently cultivate capability and resolutely dispel doubt from the innermost recesses of the mind. This profound commitment should not be naively viewed as a lofty and unattainable ideal to be pursued only on rare and special occasions or under the guise of seemingly perfect conditions, but rather as an integral and indispensable daily practice seamlessly integrated into the very fabric of everyday life. Begin today, in this very moment, by consciously replacing a single debilitating weak thought with a more empowering and capable one. Then diligently repeat this transformative exercise tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, ad infinitum. With each deliberate and intentional act of consciously choosing capability over the insidious allure of doubt, you are actively reinforcing a critical neural pathway within the intricate network of the brain, effectively strengthening the vital connection between thought and subsequent action. Before long, you will undoubtedly begin to notice a profound and undeniable shift in your overall perception of self and your inherent ability to effectively navigate the complex tapestry of the world around you. You will experience a tangible increase in your sense of resilience, feeling demonstrably better equipped to withstand the inevitable challenges that life invariably throws your way. You will cultivate a more robust sense of confidence, feeling increasingly secure in your inherent ability to successfully overcome obstacles and effortlessly achieve your most cherished goals. You will find yourself feeling more prepared and ready to seize the myriad opportunities that come your way, embracing the fullness of your inherent potential with unwavering enthusiasm. And when those inevitable challenges invariably arise, as they inevitably will, you will be able to confront them with a steady and unwavering mind, unburdened by the debilitating weight of doubt. You will possess an unshakable inner knowing, a deep-seated conviction that you have diligently cultivated the invaluable habit of consciously choosing capability that you have. Your mind is the best thing you have. Use it to create, not to destroy. Use it to make yourself strong, and you'll see you can do much more than you thought. Chapter 6. Don't let any thought make you feel weak. There's a time when you have to control your own mind. Not every thought should stay in your head. Some thoughts make you weak as soon as you think them. They take away your confidence, make you tired, and make you think you're not good enough. The secret is that you can't stop these thoughts from coming, but you can choose not to believe them. That choice is what makes the difference between being controlled by your thoughts and being in control. Weak thoughts are smart. They don't always yell. Often they come in softly. They tell you that you're too late, that you can't do it, that others are better than you. If you let them stay, they become strong. They change how you feel, what you pick, and what you get. But if you say no to them right away, they vanish before they can boss you around. That choice is yours. When you take in or push away a thought, you pick how much power it will have. Think about how your body feels when you take in a bad thought. Your shoulders go down, you don't breathe well, you feel weak, you don't act brave, you wait instead of doing, but when you push away that same thought, everything is different. You stand up straight, you breathe well, and you get your strength back. The thought didn't change, but how you acted did. That's how much power your choice has. You don't have to fight every bad thought, you just need to say no to it. It's easy to not see how bad these thoughts can be. Some people say, it's just a thought. But a thought is never just a thought. When you agree with it, it becomes what you believe. What you believe turns into how you feel, and how you feel turns into what you do. Soon your whole life is run by something that started as one small bad idea. That's why you have to say no strongly. Don't talk with thoughts that make you weak. Don't try to make them okay. Don't think about them again. Stop them before they can start. Saying no starts with knowing. You need to know what weak thoughts sound like in your own head. They are not the same for everyone. For one person, it might be, you're not smart enough. For another, you'll never win. For someone else, nobody cares what you do. When you know the kinds of thoughts that make you weak, you can get ready for them. The next time one comes, you see it fast. When something tries to surprise you, you handle it with strength. You say, no, this thought isn't right here. Saying no like that makes you stronger inside. Saying no to weak thoughts isn't fake. It's not about not seeing what's real. It's about keeping yourself safe from lies that make you tired. What's real is hard enough, so you don't need fake rules on top of that. For example, maybe you didn't do well before. That's what happened. But the thought that makes you weak says, because you didn't do well once, you'll always fail. That's not true. That's a lie. If you believe it, you carry extra weight. If you don't believe it, you can try again without feeling unsure. Saying no to weak thoughts is like guarding your front door. You don't let strangers who want to hurt you just walk in. You see who's there. You decide if they can come in or not. Your mind is the same way. You're the guard at the door. If you let every idea come into your mind without stopping them, it's not a surprise when your mind feels messy and out of control. But if you protect your mind and don't let in thoughts that hurt you, your mind will stay strong, clear, and safe. This takes practice to get better at. At first, you might not notice right away when a bad thought comes in. You might not realize until later that you've been thinking about something that makes you feel weak all day. That's okay. just notice it. Stop thinking about it and keep going. The next time you'll notice it sooner. Eventually you'll know right away when a bad thought comes into your mind. That's when you know you've made your mind really strong. You're not controlled by every thought anymore. You can choose what you think about, and that changes everything. You start to feel more sure of yourself. You trust yourself more. You don't second-guess everything you do. You start to do things in a more steady way because your choices aren't messed up by weak thoughts anymore. People around you see it too. They notice how you act differently, how you talk, and how you deal with problems. People know you are there because you are not hiding behind bad thoughts anymore. It's key to know that saying no to bad thoughts doesn't mean you won't ever feel scared or unsure. Those feelings are part of life. The change is that you don't let them run your life. You see them, but you don't listen to them. You hear the bad thought, but you don't think it's true. You know the difference between a quick thought and who you really are. That difference makes you free. Some people wait to feel like it before they say no to bad thoughts. They hope one day they will feel strong enough to just say no, but really, you have to say no first, then you will feel like it. Being strong is not what you feel before you do something, it's what you feel after you do it. Saying no makes you stronger. If you wait until you feel ready, you will wait forever. You also need to put a good thought in place of the bad one. If you don't think about anything, your mind won't be empty for long. When you say no to a bad thought, put something good in its place. If you say, I can't do it, change it to, I'm getting better. If you say, I don't deserve to win, change it to, I'm trying to win. If you say, I'm going to lose, change it to, I'll try my hardest. Saying no gets rid of the bad stuff, but saying yes helps you grow. As time goes on, this will change who you are. You'll start to think of yourself as someone who is strong, not someone who is weak. How you see yourself is important because what you do will depend on it. If you think you're weak, you won't do much. If you think you're strong, you'll be brave. Saying no to weak thoughts helps you decide who you want to be. Ask yourself, how much has your life been held back because you thought you were weak? How many times did you miss out because you let those thoughts control you? How many friendships, chances, or dreams never happened because you listened to the voice that said you weren't good enough? If you feel like it's too many, then it's time to stop. You can't change the past, but today you can start saying no to what makes you weak and create a future that shows how strong you are. This is how you become strong. Everyone who has done something important has had weak thoughts. What makes them different is that they don't listen to them. They made it a habit to fight those voices, to say no, to pick strength instead. You can do that too. It's not just for some people. Anyone can choose to do it, so protect your mind. Don't let in anything that tells you you're not good enough, anything that makes you want to quit, anything that makes you feel small. Those thoughts are not good. They don't show who you are. Each time you say no to them, you get stronger. Each time you say no, you get more of your life back. Each time you say no, you get closer to being the person you should be. Your mind will always have good and bad thoughts. Some will make you strong, some will make you weak. You can't stop the thoughts from coming, but you can choose which ones to stop. That choice is yours to make. It is also your strength. Say no to the thoughts that make you weak. Then you will live with more belief in yourself, more energy, and more freedom than you think is possible. Chapter 7. Make your mind strong by guiding your thoughts on purpose. Your mind is always working, even if you don't tell it what to do. It makes thoughts one after another. Some help you, some take your attention away, and some hurt you. If you let your mind go without guidance, it will go to places that make you weak. However, if you choose to guide it on purpose, you create strength that changes everything. Guiding your thoughts is not about control in the sense of force. It's about deciding where to put your attention and what to let into your mind. A strong mind is not the result of thinking randomly. It is the product of thinking on purpose practiced over time. Think about how much of life passes by because thoughts are left unmanaged. You start the day thinking about what could go wrong, and your whole morning bends under that weight. You replay mistakes from the past, and suddenly you lose confidence. You imagine the worst possible things that could happen, and your energy goes down before you've even done anything. That's what happens when you let thoughts wander without direction. They pull your life in a direction you never wanted. To make your mind stronger, you must take control. You must guide your thoughts toward clarity, progress, and solutions. Thinking on purpose starts with picking what's most important. If you don't know where you want your thoughts to go, they will go all over the place. Someone who hasn't picked their main things will waste time thinking about things that don't help them. But when you know what's important, like your goals, what you believe in, and what you have to do, you can make your mind think about those things. This doesn't mean you won't have problems. It means you use your energy to make yourself stronger instead of letting things break you down. See how your mind acts when you set a goal. Tell yourself, today I will focus on getting better, and see how your thoughts start to match that. When a problem comes up, instead of thinking this is too hard, your mind thinks about what you can learn from it. That change happens because of your goal. Without it, you might just think you can't win. With it, you think of the problem as a chance. That's how much goals matter. They create a way for your mind to see every situation. Focusing your thoughts on purpose keeps your mind clear. Every day, many things try to grab your attention. News, what people think, social media, and worrying about things you can't change all want to fill your mind. If you don't decide what to focus on, your thoughts get messy. You can't focus, you waste time, and it's harder to make good choices. But when you decide ahead of time what's important, you ignore the noise. You say no to things that distract you because you already said yes to what matters. Making your mind stronger by focusing on purpose is like working out a muscle. At first, it feels strange. Your thoughts will fight back. They will try to pull you back into old ways of worrying, doubting, or being negative. But each time you bring them back to what you want to focus on, you get stronger. Each time you say, I will focus on what helps me, you build strength. After a while, thinking on purpose becomes easier than just drifting along. Your mind learns the way you pick, and it starts to go that way more easily. A strong way to practice is to start and end your day with clear thoughts. In the morning, ask yourself, what kind of thoughts do I want to have today? Pick thoughts of strength, focus, and skill. During the day, when things get hard, check if your thoughts are still going the way you want them to. If not, change them. At night, think about whether your thoughts helped you reach your goals or made them harder to reach. This practice makes you more aware and disciplined. It stops you from letting the day control you. Another thing about guiding thoughts is learning to put your attention where it can help. Many people waste energy thinking about things they cannot change. They worry about the past, what others think, and things they cannot control. These thoughts make them tired. When you make your mind stronger, you don't waste energy on things you cannot change. Instead, you direct your thoughts toward action. You ask, what can I do right now? What step can I take? That focus not only keeps you productive, but also keeps you emotionally steady. Directing your thoughts also builds resilience. Life will test you. Challenges, setbacks, and failures are part of the human experience. Without intentional thinking, these moments can break you. But when you guide your thoughts deliberately, you frame challenges in a way that makes you stronger. Instead of saying, why me, you say, how can I grow from? Instead of this setback defines me, you say, this is one moment. It does not decide my life. That inner direction keeps you from sinking when life gets heavy. Consider how relationships change when you direct your thoughts intentionally. If you let your mind dwell on irritation, you become impatient and cold with others. But if you choose thoughts of understanding and patience, your interactions change. When you're a good listener, speak nicely, and are trustworthy, people like you more. This is also true at work. If you're bored or annoyed, you won't do as well. But if you focus on doing great work and helping others, you'll try harder. What you think about affects what you do, and that affects your chances in life. It's key to know that you can't stop bad thoughts completely. They'll still pop up. But you can choose not to dwell on them. You notice them, accept them, and then move on. This helps you stay in charge. As time goes on, you'll react less and act more thoughtfully. You won't be swayed by every little thought and will start guiding your mind on purpose. This stability builds a solid inner strength. Controlling your thoughts is also a way of taking care of yourself. It's like saying, my mind is important and so is my energy. I won't waste them on thoughts that don't help me. This way of thinking changes how you live. You stop putting up with bad mental habits that hold you back. You start expecting more from yourself, not in a mean way, but in a way that respects your abilities. You realize that if you want a good life, you need a strong mind. And a strong mind is made by choosing where to focus your thoughts. One helpful trick is to ask yourself questions that guide your thinking. When you have a problem, don't ask, "Why is this so hard?" Instead, ask, "What can I do to make this better?" When you feel unsure, don't ask, "What if I fail?" Instead, ask, "What can I do to get ready?" These questions move your mind away from weakness and towards strength. They change your focus from what you can't do to what you can do. The more you practice asking good questions, the better you become at thinking. What happens to you later depends on how seriously you take this. Every big success starts with a focused mind. No one grows or becomes successful by letting their thoughts go all over the place. They decide what they want, they make their thoughts match it, and they act in line with those thoughts. You can do this too. You don't need to be super talented. You need to get into the habit of guiding your mind on purpose every day. Ask yourself now where your thoughts have been taking you. Have they been helping you move forward or keeping you stuck? Have they been making you feel more confident or less? Be truthful and then decide to take charge of your thoughts. It might be hard at first, but it will always be worth it. Every time you guide your mind in a new direction, you are taking back control of your life. Every time you pick a thought on purpose, you are adding a brick to the base of your future. In the end, your mind will either be your best friend or your worst enemy. It's about you leading your mind, not letting it wander. You get strong when you choose to have a purpose. It happens when you decide that you control what you think. It happens when you focus on what helps you and ignore what hurts you. That is being disciplined. That is what you practice. And that is how you make a life that is clear, strong, and able to bounce back. Chapter 8. Notice how your thoughts make you act. Everything you do starts with a thought. Before you talk, before you move, before you choose, your mind has already started the idea that tells you what to do. That's why it's important to pay attention to your thoughts. If you don't, you'll just do things without thinking, repeating the same actions that keep you from moving forward. But if you see your thoughts clearly, you'll start to understand why you do what you do, and you'll be able to change it. Think about the last time you put off doing something important. It wasn't the thing you had to do that stopped you. It was what you thought about it. Maybe you thought, "This is too hard," or "I'll do it later." That thought made you act a certain way, and that action made your result. Now think about a time when you did something and got it done. What was different then? You might have thought, "I'll start now," or "This is important." Again, the thought made you act. This happens all the time, every day, whether you know it or not. When you start to notice, you see it everywhere. Someone who always thinks, "I don't have time," acts like time is their enemy. They hurry, they worry, they don't do things properly. But someone who thinks, "I will find time for what's important," acts calmly, chooses what to do first, and gets more done without as much worry. It's the same situation, but the results are very different because of different thoughts. The problem is that many people never look at how this works. People think their actions are by chance or because of what's happening around them. They don't understand that their own thoughts are where things begin. So they keep making the same errors. It's not that they're not smart, but they can't see what's causing the problem. They don't stop and think about how their actions come from their thoughts. This lack of understanding keeps them from moving forward. Paying attention means taking your time. Before you do something, notice what thought is making you do it. If you're avoiding something hard, ask yourself, "What am I saying to myself right now?" Maybe you're thinking, "I can't do it yet." If you see that thought, you can question it and do something different. If you don't see it, you just follow it. The same is true for good actions. If you're being brave, ask yourself, "What was I thinking that made me brave?" Knowing what it was helps you do it again on purpose next time. This helps you make better choices and also makes you feel better about yourself. When you understand that you're not just reacting to life but guiding it with your thoughts, you start to believe in yourself more. You stop feeling like a passenger being carried by what happens. You feel like the driver, steering with attention. This feeling of control makes you more confident and encourages you to keep paying attention. It's also key to see how thoughts affect actions over time. One action might not seem like much, but repeated actions create habits, and these habits shape who you are. For example, someone who thinks every day, "I'll never be healthy," takes actions that support poor health, like not exercising, eating badly, and avoiding self-control. Over years, this thought-action cycle creates a weak lifestyle. But someone who thinks, "I can get healthier step by step," makes different choices, like going for a walk, making better meals, and getting enough rest. Over time, these actions build strength. The difference between two kinds of lives starts with the thoughts we keep having and acting on. Here's another example. Think about how people deal with fights. If you think, "This person is my enemy," you might argue, pull away, or get angry. But if you think, "This person just sees things differently," you act in a new way. You listen, you talk, and you try to find things you both agree on. The thought decides if the fight gets worse or gets better. Watching what you say to yourself is the secret to better friendships and relationships. Some people think they can hide what they're thinking, but their actions always show it in the end. If you always think you're not good enough, it shows in how you stand, how you talk, and how you try to reach your goals. If you think you're worth something, people around you see it, even if you never say it out loud. That's why growing as a person always starts in your head. Change the thought, and the action changes. Change the action, and your life changes too. So, how can we really pay attention? One way is to keep a journal. Each night, write down what you did and think about why you did it. You'll start to see habits. Maybe you'll find that when you didn't want to do something, you were thinking about something else. Or maybe you'll see that when you did well, you were thinking, "I'll try." Knowing this helps you change what you do. Another way is to be mindful all day. Stop for a moment before you decide something. Ask yourself, "What am I thinking about right now?" It might feel strange at first, but it will become normal. The more you do it, the faster you'll notice bad thoughts before they cause bad actions. You'll also help good thoughts by noticing them, which makes it easier to have them again. Making this a habit changes both your personal and work life. At work, growing or staying the same often depends on acting after thinking. If you always think you can't be a leader, you won't try to lead. But if you think you can learn to lead, you'll take on tough tasks and improve. They might start at the same spot, but go different ways because of thoughts that led to different actions. The one who listened to their own thoughts could change them, and that changed their job path. Also, see how thoughts change how long you keep trying. When things get hard, thinking it's pointless makes you give up. Thinking it's hard but worth it makes you keep going. You could think either one in the same case. The one you hear and decide to believe will decide what you do, and what you do will decide if you win or fail. That's why focusing our attention should be a regular thing. It's not just a nice thing to do. It's key to living a life that matters. It's important to know that not paying attention can cause problems. People who don't focus often feel stuck in patterns they can't explain. They might say, "I don't know why I keep doing this," or "I can't stop this habit." The reason is simple. They never pause to think about why they do what they do. If you don't pay attention, you can't change. But when you do pay attention, you have power. You see the reason for your actions, and knowing that gives you the chance to act in a new way. This also helps you understand your feelings better. By paying attention to your thoughts before you do something, you start to understand yourself better. You see what makes you angry, scared, or unsure. You can get ready for those things and react in a better way. This understanding also helps you with other people. When you understand that everyone does things because of what they think, you become more patient and understanding. You stop feeling like things are personal attacks and start seeing that people just like you are led by the ideas they believe. How strong your future is depends a lot on being able to do this. Every goal you have will need actions, and every action comes from thoughts. If you don't pay attention to your thoughts, it will be hard to change what you do. But if you control your thoughts, your actions will easily follow. Getting what you want then becomes not about pushing yourself hard, but about making your thoughts match the life you want. It's your job to always remember this connection. Notice when your mind makes excuses, notice when it gives you courage, notice when it tries to stop you, and notice when it pushes you forward. These things aren't random, they drive your life. If you ignore them, they will still decide where you go, but without you agreeing to it. If you see them, you can step in, choose on purpose, and guide your future. So make it a habit, starting now. Watch your thoughts with care. Ask yourself before doing something, is this thought leading me where I want to go? If the answer is no, stop and change direction. If the answer is yes, go ahead with confidence. This simple practice will change the quality of your decisions, the strength of your actions, and the path of your life. It will give you the clarity to stop repeating habits that don't help you and start building habits that move you closer to the life you want. Your thoughts are not invisible. They leave proof in your actions, and your actions are not small. They build the reality you live in every day. Pay attention to where they come from, and you take control of what happens. Ignore where they come from, and you leave your life to chance. The choice is yours, and it starts with one step, paying attention to how your thoughts decide your actions. Chapter 9. To make new habits, start by thinking better. Every habit you have now, good or bad, began in your mind. Before you did it without thinking, it was a thought you repeated until it became an action. So, if you want new habits, don't just start with what you do. Start with what you think. Your thoughts are the base of every habit. Strong thoughts make strong habits. Weak thoughts make weak ones. For real change, start at the beginning. Think about how habits start. First you decide. You say to yourself, I'll try this. That one thought turns into action. If you think it again, the action happens more. Soon you don't need to think about it. It just happens. This is true for everything. A thought like, I'll relax a bit, if repeated, becomes hours of wasting time. A thought like, I'll work out for 10 minutes, said every day, turns into a fit way of life. What you do is clear, but the thought is the secret start. The issue for many is they try to change what they do without changing how they think. They make themselves act different while still having the same thoughts. They think, I hate this, I can't do this, and then wonder why they stop. The truth is easy. If the thought is bad, the habit won't last. But if you start with a good thought, one that helps, one that makes you strong, it's easier to do the action again. Over time, that action becomes a strong habit. Notice what you say in your head. If you want to wake up early, but you think, I don't like mornings, that thought will ruin everything. A better thought is, I'm teaching myself to start the day well. If you want to eat better, but you think, I always fail when I try to eat healthy, you've already lost. A better idea is that I can make one good choice today. How you think about a habit decides if you keep it. Small changes in thought make big changes in habit. People don't think this is important enough. They think they need to make big changes all at once. But one new thought you use all the time can change your life. For example, saying, I can try for 5 minutes instead of I can't do this helps you keep going. Saying every step counts instead of it's not worth it helps you do things regularly. Over time, these new ways of thinking make better behavior a normal part of your day. It's also important to know that habits are not by themselves. They are linked to who you are. What you think about yourself affects what you do every day. If you think I'm lazy, you'll create habits that show it. If you think I'm disciplined, you'll create habits that show that. The idea you have of yourself is the base for the things you do every day. That's why it's very important to start by thinking better. A thought like, I can be disciplined, might seem small, but it changes how you see yourself, and your habits will eventually match that view. Building habits by thinking better also helps you avoid going back to old ways. Everyone has trouble sometimes. You might miss a day, or you might fall back into an old habit. If you think, I failed, so it's all over, you'll stop trying. But if you think this is just one day, I can keep going tomorrow, you'll continue. That one thought decides if the habit stays or goes away. Failing doesn't kill habits, giving up does. And giving up almost always starts with the wrong thought. It's easy to use this in real life. Pick one habit you want to create. Then write down the thoughts that have stopped you in the past. Change them for new ones that help you reach your goal. Think those thoughts every day, especially before you do something. For example, if you want to write every day, stop thinking, "I have nothing to say." Start thinking, "Writing a little each day makes me better." Each time you think the new thought, the habit gets stronger. Another important thing is to imagine yourself doing the habit with confidence. When you see yourself doing well, your mind practices the thought, "I can do this." That practice makes it easier when the time comes. You're not surprised by the action anymore. You've already thought about it, and your body does what you practiced in your mind. Athletes use this idea all the time, and you can too. Better thoughts help you create better habits. Don't forget how important repetition is. One strong thought won't change your life. A strong thought repeated every day will. The brain learns by reinforcement. Every time you think in a new way, you create a small path. The more you walk it, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, it replaces the old path. That's why you must keep repeating better thoughts until they become automatic. At that point, your habits follow ethically. Consider the emotional impact too. Better thinking doesn't just make habits possible, it makes them enjoyable. If your thought about exercise is, "I hate this," you'll drag yourself through it and eventually stop. If your thought is, "This makes me stronger," you'll begin to enjoy the process. Emotions follow thoughts. When your thoughts frame habits positively, your feelings align, and the habit becomes something you look forward to, rather than something you dread. This is not about blind optimism, it's about realistic, empowering thinking. A better thought is not pretending everything is easy, it's reminding yourself of truth that builds you. I am capable of learning. One small step matters. I can improve with practice. These are not fantasies. The way you choose to see things can help you get better. When you keep choosing helpful ways of seeing things, it's like creating good soil in your mind where good habits can grow. Your habits decide where your life goes. Whether you get better or stay the same depends on what you do every day. And what you do every day depends on what you think. You can't get away from this. If you want your future to be better, start by thinking better thoughts today. Better thoughts create better habits, and better habits create a better life. Think about how different your life could be in a year if you did this. If you just changed a few weak thoughts into stronger ones each day, what would happen? You would start doing things more regularly. You would start creating habits that match the person you want to be. You would stop making things harder for yourself before you even started. Over time, those small choices in your mind would add up to big changes. This is the secret. People fail at habits, not because they lack willpower, but because they never built the right thoughts to support them. They try to act against the grain of their own thinking. It's like rowing against a current. The moment they get tired, they slip back, but when you align your thoughts with your actions, the current carries you forward. You no longer fight yourself, you support yourself. That's when habits stick. So start today. Pick one area where you want change. Instead of only focusing on what you will do, focus first on what you will think. Write the thought, repeat it, believe it enough to act on it, then act. Keep repeating until the action feels natural. In time, you won't have to force the habit. It will be part of who you are. That is the power of starting with better thinking. Your thoughts are the architects of your habits, and your habits are the architects of your future. If you want a stronger future, you must begin by building stronger thoughts today. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you choose thoughts that make growth possible and refuse thoughts that hold you back. That practice, repeated daily, will build habits that carry you forward for the rest of your life. Chapter 10. Master Your Future by Mastering the Thoughts Today. The direction of your future is not something that appears suddenly one day. It is being built in the present moment by the thoughts you choose to carry. Every dream, every setback, every achievement begins in the mind. If your thoughts are scattered, fearful, or negative, your future will reflect that. If your thoughts are disciplined, clear, and empowering, your future will reflect that too. The difference between where you are now and where you will be years from now comes down to how you train your thinking today, master your thoughts now, and you master your future before it arrives. Your future is not controlled by luck, chance, or circumstance as much as people think. It is controlled by repeated decisions that are shaped by the way you think every day. Look back on your life. The choices that brought you here did not appear in isolation. They were guided by the thoughts you accepted. The times you believed you could, you acted boldly. The times you doubted, you held back. The times you focused, you made progress. The times you entertained distraction, you lost momentum. This same principle will decide what happens next in your life. To master your thoughts today means to become intentional about what you allow and what you reject. You cannot let every thought occupy your mind because not every thought deserves space. Some thoughts build you, others break you. If you don't filter them, you'll spend your life reacting instead of creating. But if you choose deliberately, you shape a mental environment that produces growth. That environment becomes the soil out of which your future grows. Think about a person who constantly feeds themselves with doubt. They might think, "I'm not ready, I'll never make it," or "I don't deserve this." With thoughts like that, it's hard to be brave. It's hard to grab chances. They can't. Their future is small before it even starts. Now think about someone who has better thoughts. They tell themselves, "I can do this, I can learn, I can solve this." These thoughts make them act in a new way. Their future gets bigger because their thoughts today open doors instead of shutting them. That's why controlling your future starts with controlling today. Every day is important. Every day you are practicing thoughts that will be the base of tomorrow. If you choose lazy thoughts today, it will be harder to act tomorrow. If you choose strong thoughts today, it will be easier to keep going tomorrow. People often want the results of the future without seeing that the future is what they get from the thoughts they plant now. To master your thoughts, you need awareness and discipline. Awareness means paying attention to what's really happening in your mind. It means noticing the excuses, the doubts and the fears as soon as they arise. Discipline means refusing to accept the ones that weaken you and replacing them with ones that serve you. This is not about wishful thinking. It's about training your inner dialogue to support your growth instead of sabotage it. When you do this day after day, the compounding effect shapes your destiny. Your future is not only about goals, it's about the kind of person you are becoming. That person is created through the thoughts you practice. If you master thoughts of resilience, your future will show resilience. If you master thoughts of gratitude, your future will be full of appreciation and abundance. If you master thoughts of discipline, your future will be stable and consistent. You cannot separate the person you will be from the thoughts you choose now. Consider the simple example of financial habits. A person who thinks, "I can never save money," acts in ways that confirm it. They spend recklessly, avoid planning and live with stress. Their future becomes one of scarcity. A person who thinks, "I can build wealth step by step," acts differently. They save a little, invest wisely, make careful choices. Over time, their future becomes one of security and freedom. The difference is not intelligence or opportunity, it is thought. The thought created the action, and the action created the future. The same applies to health relationships and personal growth. Thoughts drive the choices, and choices build the light. If you want a different future, you must begin with different thoughts. You cannot wait until tomorrow to think stronger thoughts. You cannot wait until you feel ready. The time to master your thinking is now, in the present moment, because the present moment is the only time you can shape. And the way you shape it becomes the way your future unfolds. One mistake people make is assuming that one day they will wake up with a new mindset by accident. It doesn't work that way. Mindset is built, not delivered. It is built by the thoughts you practice deliberately. If you want to be confident in the future, you must practice confident thinking today. If you want to be disciplined later, you must practice disciplined thinking now. If you want to live with peace years from now, you must practice peaceful thinking in the present. Waiting will only keep you stuck. Choosing today is the path to freedom. When you commit to mastering your thoughts, you also take responsibility for your future. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or love. You realize that while you cannot control everything that happens, you can always control how you think about it. That control gives you power. Power to respond instead of react. Power to persist instead of quit. Power to adapt instead of collapse. That power is what shapes your future more than anything else. Pay attention to how much stronger you feel when you direct your thoughts with purpose. In moments of stress, a thought like, "I can handle this," drains you instantly. But a thought like, "I take this one step at a time," steadies you. The situation may be the same, but the future that grows out of it is not. The first thought leads to quitting. The second leads to growth. This is why mastering your thoughts today matters. It's not just about surviving the moment, it's about deciding the direction of your life. Mastering your thoughts is not about perfection. You will still have weak moments. Doubt will still visit. Fear will still wisp. But mastery doesn't mean the absence of these voices. It means refusing to obey them. It means noticing them, rejecting them, and replacing them with stronger truths. That practice, repeated daily, creates resilience that carries you through anything, and resilience is what ensures your future is built on strength rather than weakness. Ask yourself right now, what thoughts have you been feeding lately? Are they the kind of thoughts that will create the future you want, or are they the kind of thoughts that will keep you stuck? Be honest, because your answer will reveal what direction your life is heading. If the thoughts are small, the future will be small. If the thoughts are strong, the future will be strong. You are not at the mercy of this process. You can decide to change it today. To master your future, start with small victories in your thinking. Each time you replace a thought of defeat with a thought of perseverance, you win. Each time you replace a thought of fear with a thought of courage, you win. Each time you replace a thought of limitation with a thought of possibility, you win. These small victories accumulate. Over time, they transform who you are and what you are capable of. That is the compounding power of thought mastery. Your future is not something to fear. It is something to shape. You don't need to predict every detail of what's ahead. You just need to master the part that belongs to you, the thoughts you hold in the present. Master those and you'll be prepared for whatever comes. You'll face challenges with strength, embrace opportunities with confidence, and live with a sense of purpose. So make the decision now. Refuse to give your future away to weak thinking. Refuse to live as a prisoner of old patterns. Refuse to wait for circumstances to change before you decide to think differently. Begin today. Master the thoughts you allow, and you'll master the actions that follow. Master the actions, and you'll master the results. Master the results, and you'll master your future. It all begins here in the present moment with what you choose to think. Thank you. Thank you.